Okay, guys, we are live at Dave's LFC Chats. Hit the like, hit the share, give us a sub, and show us you care. I haven't said that for a while. I've got the boys are back in town. Ivan at Ivan Jennings on Twitter and Keith at Eaton Ryan on Twitter. You're back. Halfway point. Huge game tonight. Talk about the Reds. Let's go. How are you boys? Good?
Really good. Yeah, really good.
Yeah, sure.
Glad to be back.
Yeah.
Super good. Super good. Is that, can you read that across there now? That thing I put in there.
Yeah.
All good. Yeah. Let's Gibbo in the house. How are you, Gibbo? Hope you're well. Hit the like button, guys. As you know, we're live on Twitter as well. We're going to have a little quick chat about mid-season. I haven't seen Keith and Ivan in ages. We haven't been live probably since last season. So I want to get their take on Liverpool halfway, 19 games played. We only lost one game. That was against Forest, who we played tonight at the City Ground in less than an hour's time. We'll talk about the 11 that's playing tonight. We know who's starting and stuff. But Keith, Ivan, Keith first, halfway point, unbelievable stuff from Slot. I mean, last season I did a video, I think it was August. You know, I always do a little start of the season where I think we'll be, what we'll do. We didn't really bring anybody in. We brought Chiesa in. And he had an injury issue and he hadn't played much, so he was more of a backup. We're in an unbelievable place. 6 points clear of the game in hand.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody out there now who wouldn't have bitten their hand off or 6 points ahead, game in hand at the turn. You know, with a new manager coming in, with Klopp leaving, I just think it's way beyond where we thought we were going to be. So, you know, we've certainly exceeded any type of expectations I think that anybody had come into the season. You know, maybe a good run in a cup and a top four would have been considered, a very good season, particularly under a new manager coming through, particularly a manager we knew very little about, to be honest with you. I think he's done an absolutely outstanding job, to be honest with you, an outstanding job, you know. So to have us at this particular point, at this part of the season, so you've got to be really impressed. You know, he's almost the anti-Klopp. You know, I'm not going to say he's emotionless. He's not at all, to be honest with you. But you know, he's just so calm and level-headed. You know, keeps his emotions in check. Kind of says the right things all the time. You know, so and it's just allowing the lads just to get on the pitch. There's no kind of histrionics or stuff going around. You know, the club just getting on with business. You know, week in, week out. So you know, so that I think that's been perfect for us, and I think that all the lads have got a lift. I think that change has reinvigorated some of the key players that we've had who potentially had maybe off the boil seasons over the last couple of years, who have looked like new signings for us, or certainly when we signed them first, the impact they had on the side. You know, and you're looking at Salah, obviously, you're looking at Van Dijk, and I suppose even he would have been critical of Konate last season in terms of finding his way, and up until his injury, he was arguably the best player on the pitch for us at the start of the season.
Yeah. I mean, it is impressive, Ivan. Yeah. I mean, anybody who said we'd be here at the halfway point, top of the Champions League table, okay, we're in a semi against Spurs. I still think we can overturn that one goal deficit. We're in the FA Cup. We have a good draw against Plymouth Argyle in the fourth round. We're 6 points clear of the game in hand. Only lost one game in the league, and that was against Forest. I mean, impressive.
Yeah, I can't believe how well he's done. I think, you know, what a coach to come in after in Klopp and everything that he did for us, and like he's been clinical. He's changed things in games. He's been calm. Like he has had a bit of a rant, as he did in the Spurs game last week over the second yellow. So he's definitely passionate and intense, but it's not in your face, kind of heart in your sleeve type stuff. But I think the change, as Keith said, the change has been good for some of the players, and I think, as we were saying before, the intensity was just too much for some players, and it almost looked like we didn't have a plan B. And you know, we tried to bring in the likes of Thiago and others to be that little, you know, the player who could get the through ball for us when that intense football wasn't working for us. But we never really had a plan B, and you could see players burning out. You could see games where we're 1-0 down, or it's 0-0 with 10 minutes to go, and you just know we're not going to score. So this guy has reinvigorated a couple of players. I think Curtis Jones is one as well, who's been really, really good. And they're footballers. Like I think we probably underestimated how good some of them actually were technically, because it was a very direct type of game, a very functional type of game that Klopp was looking to play. But I would have bit your hand off at the start of the season to be anywhere near where we are. Like, I think we would have been happy with a top 4. Like the likes of United and Chelsea were being talked up. Man City obviously being talked up, and we've just come in and we've been clinical. And as I said before, he's playing smart football. You go a goal or 2 up, and you shut up and you bring on an extra defender, or you bring on an extra midfielder, and you don't throw games away where you could argue Klopp maybe threw a couple of games away or added unnecessary risk, for the joy of the football. And don't get me wrong, it was an incredible 7 years, but the smarter coaches, I think, are more clinical, and they have that defensive mindset where you need to close out games. And I think he could turn out to be a really successful manager for us. Hopefully we'll get something with him this year.
Do you know another thing I like about him? You listen to his press conference. He's calm. He's he seems to have the right answer at the right time. Never really gets too angry or giving out. I know we haven't lost many games, so probably when you start losing a few games, it's more touchy and you get asked the worst questions. But he's calm and collected, Keith, in the pressers, isn't he?
No, he is, and I think that's flowed right way through the team. To be honest with you, we don't seem to be as susceptible to panic. We do seem to be able to find a way in games to get the result we need, even in games where we've maybe gone behind, to be honest with you. So, to turn games around from losing position. So, the team does feel a little bit more, certainly in the first half of matches, we seem to be a little bit more, I suppose, strategic in our build-up, a little bit more practical, conserving more energy, not as gung-ho, not as much kind of basketball, football. So, and you can kind of see that filtering through. The other thing as well, I suppose, is that our ability to be able to pick holes in a low block has been a lot better this season than it has been in other seasons. So, we're scoring different types of goals from different players from different situations. We're not a one-trick pony. We're not just getting it wide and trying to get it into the box, So we've got players who can score from distance. We've got players who can score from close in. We're sharing the goals around. Yes, Salah's getting a huge amount of goals, but, Gakpo has also come up with some important goals. Josh is now starting to score it again. And
the basketball is gone. The basketball is over. Yeah. And we've gotten much better now at recycling. You bring it up to the right, it's not working. You keep going back and you go around again and you go around again, and we're happy in possession now. Whereas I think the Klopp type of football, he mixed it up. I think the Klopp type of football was, if you don't score with each attack, there's something not right, and we obviously had great games where we're beating United and City and Roma and others with massive scorelines, and that's brilliant. But give me a 2-0 or a 3-0 if you're getting a trophy.
Give me a 1-0 tonight, I'll take it.
Give me a 1-0 tonight.
Another thing you haven't mentioned him, I don't know whether you did or not, but Ryan Gravenberch in midfield's been a revelation. I mean, I did say in a tweet last year, anybody can check it out, but I think it was when Slot came in. Obviously, he's Dutch, and the backroom staff are Dutch. Gravenberch, Van Dijk, Gakpo. Gakpo's been brilliant too. We're all Dutch, and I did say in one of it that might help, especially Gravenberch, who wasn't really fitting in. The Dutch, it might just make you feel more at home, the language, you know what I mean? Know the style, and Slot would have known him when he played at Ajax and stuff, and he's been absolutely brilliant in midfield. And as you say, Gakpo's come up with some big goals as well. I'm hoping he starts tonight. I'm hoping he can get a goal tonight. But just overall, little nuances here and there, as you said, slightly different, less gung-ho.
I think he's letting them play, like the Dutch players are obviously very...
Isn't it? It's a bit of a soft rock rather than heavy metal, I'd say.
The Dutch players like playing football, and I think when you have, like, Gravenberch, you could see if he's a little bit uncomfortable just getting the ball and passing it on. He's on the ball a lot more now. He's starting attacks. He's breaking up play. He's dribbling. He's a good footballer, and like he's been probably, you could argue, one of our best players. Transformed in that 6 role.
I mean, if Jurgen Klopp's team at its height was crazy, it was AC/DC on stage, you would probably say this team is more like Def Leppard. You know what I mean? There's a bit of a nuance. There's a bit of heavy metal there. There's intensity. There's closing down, and strike force is unbelievable. We got really tight enough at the back. I think only Forest are tighter, at the back than us.
Yeah, the attack is very similar. It's still very gung ho, and when we break, and there was a couple of examples of it against Accrington Stanley. When we go, and that's always been a feature of it. And sometimes when we're defending a corner, we're at our most dangerous because we get forward in so many numbers. But it's solid at the back. It's recycle. It's don't give up silly possession. And it's different. Yeah, it's good to see.
It is different.
I think if you look at
it's similar but different. But as you said, look, a new manager coming in, new background staff coming in. I think he did it really well. When he came in, there was a big gap. Now, Jurgen was so iconic. We all know that. You know, he was there since October 2015, won the league, Champions League, World Club Cup, FA Cups, League Cup, won everything. But he didn't just come in gung-ho. He sort of stepped back a bit. And there was a month or 6 weeks where people were wondering where he was. It was like finding Wally or whatever you call it. Like, people were looking for pictures of him. Didn't even know what he looked like. It was real. And he just steps in. I remember, real quiet, praising Klopp a lot now. A lot, wasn't he? Klopp was praising him, singing his Arne Slot song. But I think he did it the right way. Nice, easy transition. Bang.
He seems to know exactly what he's doing across the board, to be honest with you, handling all situations, whether it's on the field, off the field, you know, questions around contracts, questions around transfers, all the stuff. Like, he just passes it off, doesn't say the wrong thing. So he's very good. So I think when we kind of have a look at it, from you know, if we're looking at a half season, you know, in tray, out tray, in terms of what's gone very well. Obviously, Slot's been a revelation from that perspective. I think having points in the bag at this point of the season, this particular season, is very important. You know, if we can win that game in hand and have the 9 points, I don't think anyone's going to do a run of 14 games unbeaten, you know, or wins, or put 12 wins together, or put 10 wins together. I don't think anybody's going to has the ability to do that this season. So it does feel like points in the bag at this particular stage is important this season. Going back the last couple of seasons against City, I would have said makes no difference whatsoever. They'll really win, or try to really win. But certainly this year it feels good. I think the fact that we can score goals and our front line is far better than anybody else in the league as well is also very important. I think we'll score more. I think we'll outscore other teams, and that's certainly in the in-tray. When we look at it from a negative perspective, I think there's a degree of fragility in my mind around the whole side. Whether it's the contract situation, a couple of injuries, I don't think we're looking to reinforce in this window. I think what will happen is the two lads will sign, and all of the videos coming out at the moment is like Chiesa is a new man, it's like a new signing, and I don't think we sign anybody, to be honest with you. And I think that's it. And, you know, we'll have to be happy with that. But that does create a degree of fragility, certainly at centre half in the middle of the park. And if anything was to happen to Salah, I think we're going to struggle for goals. So on that side, that's the only negative side that I have going into the new year. Otherwise, it's all really positive. I just have a small niggling thing in the back of my mind saying, you know, unless we sort this shit out, the wheels could come off quite quickly, you know. So that's my.
Ito, I think you need to come more closer to the camera. I can't even see it.
I can't. I don't know what's happened. It's not me.
You're invisible, man.
Yeah, I just turn it off.
Yeah. Just turn it off. I think it's the background, is it?
Yeah, it's probably the background.
Yeah. But Ivan, I mean, we're going to switch now in a few minutes to the Forest game, which is 45 minutes away. But I mean, we probably should add in the January transfer. We still could. There's a few weeks left, but it's not something we usually do. And you can hear them talking and stuff. And it would be sad, and it would be criminal almost to, you know, lose a player through injury and not add in January, and then say, well, why didn't we add? We've been here before. Zuba Mendes, the classic. I'm hearing today there's possibility he might be going to Arsenal in the summer.
I heard that as well.
Yeah,
I heard that as well. You know, and
crazy stuff.
Yeah, like would we have liked to have signed him at the start? Yeah, 100%. But has Gravenberch been brilliant? He has. Yeah. There's no two ways about it. Is he going to stay there long term? Who knows? It'd be great to see Chiesa come in and make a difference. Like he scored a nice goal the weekend. I watched them for the under-23s about a month ago, and he scored a similar type of a goal. He was really sharp, and I think he was a low risk, low priced chance to take. And if it works out, it'd be brilliant. Like he's a fantastic footballer. I think we've only really got one risk at the back, and that is at centre half with Kwanzaa and with Kanate, who are as fragile as Keith says. Like if we everybody says that if you were to lose a Van Dijk or a Salah, that could be the wheels coming off. But I think both of them are they're machines, and I think with the exception of the cruciate that
they're irreplaceable. You're not going to replace Salah.
They are,
You know?
and I think like Salah's never injured, which is amazing. Van Dijk had that one big injury, which is amazing. The Trent thing, I think he'll stay. I actually don't mind if he goes or if he loses, because the club are going to come out of this really, really well, regardless. You know, if he leaves, we won't make any money out of him. If he leaves, I think regardless, there'll just be a sour taste in the fans' mouth, the hardcore fans, because you know he's going for money. We're competing for the same trophies now that Real Madrid are, so he doesn't really have that argument. He's got example after example of fellow teammates or former teammates and other players in the Premiership who've gone to Spain, and it just hasn't worked out. So the grass isn't always greener, and a new coach comes in at Real Madrid if Ancelotti leaves, and all things could change. You know, your man could come back, Carvajal from injury. Who knows? Who knows? So I think that's a big risk.
Look,
but no, I think we're set up halfway through. We're set up.
Yeah, I mean the squad is strong. I'm just looking at the team. We're going to switch now to the big one. We're less than 45 minutes away. City ground, Forest, Liverpool, huge game. I mean, Forest have been unbelievable. I mean, we didn't believe where we'd be, but I can guarantee you, Forest didn't believe where they are at a halfway point, probably even more than us. You know what I mean? I mean, they beat us at Anfield. It was a tight game. We'd one or two chances. I think Diaz hit the post and it was 0-0. They were very tight, compact. We'd one or two chances in that game. We didn't play well. I think we were surprised by them. We can't be surprised tonight. I think they're third, but they're joint with Arsenal. I think there's only goal difference separating them and Arsenal. And City ground tonight, lads. I'll give you the starting 11 now in a minute, but this is going to be a tight, tough, physical game. Your man Chris Wood up front is big, and he's a target man, and he's going to give Van Dijk and Kanate some work tonight. This is going to be a tough one.
The worry for me, Dave, you just said it there, is surprised. We were surprised by Manchester United. We were absolutely surprised by Manchester United, and I was a little bit shocked by that. And I think we were a little bit surprised by Spurs, where I think there's just been a little bit of complacency over the last couple of weeks, where we've just kind of gone in thinking, you know, we'll get the first goal and we'll blow them away. We cannot have that tonight. We absolutely cannot have that. We have to get that first goal. We have to go at them, because this is a tough game.
I think there's been some lethargy in the last couple of games, lads. There's been a little bit of fatigue. I don't think one of the other criticisms you may have around him at the moment is that he doesn't necessarily have used his bench maybe at times where he could have used his bench, or maybe started players in certain positions. So I thought Gravenberch, McAllister and Salah particularly, the last couple of matches against Spurs looked quite leggy, to be honest with you. And we weren't able to match the intensity of Manchester United in our own backyard, and they I don't think they weren't any better than us, to be honest with you. Don't think they used the ball particularly well, but they were hungry, and they won a lot of 50-50s. And one or two of our,
it reminded me of the reverse fixture where we were just all out. We were first into every tackle. We got every second ball. We were into them before they had even received the ball, and they did exactly the same to us.
They've had a break now. The lads have had a bit of time off now, to be honest with you. So hopefully that was done wisely, and the batteries have been recharged, because we're coming into another quite hectic period, I suppose, of games. So I don't know whether it's complacency or lethargy, or to be honest with you, be interesting to see what the response is like now tonight after two relatively poor results against decent sides. You know, I don't think you can look at Accrington as being a good run out for some players, to be honest with you. That's about it. We had a chat about this before the match. My concern is their pace on the wings against our fullbacks. I'm delighted to see Szoboszlai in there, because he will give a degree of protection there, and you'll get around the pitch. And Kanate, So that's good, to be honest with you. But I am concerned with Adai running at Trent and Elanga running at Robbo. To be honest with you, you know, they're both fucking lightning. So that's the only real concern I have. I think we could probably keep Wood quiet as long as we starve them with the ball. So as long as it's just not one, I think we're probably going to have to score first. They've got an unbelievable record when they score first. I don't think they've been beaten all season. I think they've won every game they've scored first in, something ridiculous like that. So, first goal tonight is probably going to be key. I think if we get the first goal, they have to come out and play a little bit at times. They may not do it straight away, but they'll have to come out, and then we need to be clinical. So when we haven't looked clinical in the last couple of games, we've looked quite wasteful, especially in the final third. So I think we need we need to be on it tonight. Chance fucking goal, and then it's
bad record. We've a bad record. I think we've only last 20 games, and that was that Núñez goal, the header last season, the last bleeding minute.
Yeah,
we don't have a good record there, so I think we've got to start. We can't start this game slow at the City Ground under the lights at 8 o'clock up in Nottingham. I mean, they'll come at us. They've nothing to lose. They're still okay. They're third, but realistically, they could finish in top four. But it's the pressure's on Liverpool tonight, lads. You know what I mean? It's not on Forest.
If you want to win the league, we have to win these games. So
I think we've got to win let's win all the games. But
four from the next two is not the end of the world, to be honest with you. But we need to win one of them, to be honest with you. If we won both, then I think it puts us in a very good position. Now we've still to go to Fulham, we've still to go to City, we've still to go to Chelsea.
Everton.
We've still to go to Everton.
Yeah.
So of our last 10 away games, or 9-10 away games that we have in the league, they're all against top half teams, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I think this one's important because, as you said, Keith,
on the plate, you've got to win it.
Oh yeah. You got to win it. It's not going to happen. No.
I think this one is important because of what you said. There's been a little bit of complacency or legginess or something. We need to kind of come back and go, boom. It's all okay.
Marker. Yeah, and put pressure on Arsenal tomorrow night, the North London derby. So
100%.
Well, what do you think of the team? So Alisson in goal, Kanate, Van Dijk, Robertson, and Trent in the midfield. I like the midfield. McAllister, you've got Gravenberch in there, and who else have you got there? Hold on, McAllister. And Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai's back, of course. He had a bit of an illness or something. We missed him against United. We missed his energy. Up front, you've got Gakpo, who can always get you a goal. Mosalah, the King of Egypt, of course, and Luis Diaz. And even on the bench, we've got a bit of power on the bench.
Yeah, I think the bench looks good. What worries me, Diaz has played well in parts as the 9, and it looks like he has him as the 9 here. Didn't play well against United in that role, and I don't know if that was the fact that they had 3 at the back and he was out marked or whatever. But use the bench if you need to and use it early. Having Jota back is huge.
Yeah. There's the team there anyway. But I mean, look. I'm not saying we are better. I think we're a better team than Forest. We've better players. But the thing is, do we have the energy? Do we have the will? Do we want to win tonight? Forest will give us a game. I think the first 15-20 are huge.
Yeah, no gifts. No fucking gifts.
We can score all the better. Yeah. You know what I mean? The crowd and everything. Crowd is crazy.
I think we get chances. We're very wasteful against them at Anfield. Really wasteful in the final third. Really poor in the final third. So I think we'll create chances tonight, but we just have to be fucking clinical. And and that's one of the reasons why we've dropped off in a couple of the seasons where we haven't gone on to win the leagues is because we've just been wasteful, particularly in the second half of the season. And again, whether that's just lethargy or whatever else it is, but we need to kick on there. Particularly for this period, particularly towards this period and into the tail end of February. We can get to the tail end of February with the same distance ahead. We've got points in the bag there, and we can drop a point or two. We've still got Arsenal to come to Anfield as well. So everyone else has to play everybody else. It's not just us with tough fixtures. Everybody's going to drop poins. We just need to make sure that we don't drop any more than everybody else. Obviously, put ourselves under huge pressure, particularly at this stage.
And we've been lucky with teams doing that. We've been looking at the last couple of weeks. People have been dropping points.
Yeah.
Got to do our own thing. Win tonight. Try to beat Brentford at the weekend. Not worry about what anybody else is doing. Just we can only control what we're doing. You know what I mean? We've got a good squad. Darren Núñez misses tonight because of a suspension. He probably wouldn't have started anyway. No. And Gomez is out for another 2 or 3 weeks. Will they add in February or will they add in January? Probably not. But and there's the bench. A decent bench as well.
Very good bench. Strong bench.
Gaza, Jones, Elliott, Jota, Tsimikas, Kwanzaa, Brand. We can change it with that 5 sub rule. We can change that with half an hour to go.
Yeah.
He does like changing it in the second half. He does like using subs.
Realistically, you're looking at the 2 fullbacks coming on. at some stage. Unless there's injuries, it's probably going to be Endo to close it out. Chiesa if we need to do something. And the two fullbacks. Jota. Yeah, that's probably the subs. Unless there's injuries.
Yeah. Look, it's not, as I say, we're not going to stay on much longer because we're almost here, but it's a good team. We're in a good place. I think we've got to kick on now because we've had a bit of a weird few draws. We got beaten by Spurs, of course, in the first leg of the semi, but as Slot says, you're going to lose a game. You lose them in a 2-leg semi because at least you have a chance to come back in the second leg. You know what I mean?
It's a real opportunity. We play first. We play first in this group of games. We put a marker down.
I think it's a statement game. If we can win tonight, I don't care about playing well and winning. I just mean getting the 3 points. 1-0.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's all about winning. That's what it's about.
Yeah. I suppose off the back of the last couple of performances, you'd like to see a bit of a turn in terms of the attitude and the performance as well, wouldn't you? Not just getting across the line. Like, it'd be good for us now to start putting down a bit of a marker. Play well, score when we have to score. Not necessarily put them to the sword, but win well and win comfortably. That's not going to happen. Yeah. But fuck, be lovely, wouldn't it? So.
Yeah, I'll ask you for. I know you don't like predictions, but we'll have a little chat. I might ask you about a quick prediction for Brentford because I probably won't talk to you till Tuesday week. Next Tuesday at 7:00 as well. We're going to try to do a live show every Tuesday at 7 if it suits the boys. So hit the like, hit the share, and have your notifications on because we will be live Instagram and Twitter, X as well. Closing arguments, lads, tonight. I'm expecting a tough game at the City Ground. What have you got? Less than just over half an hour to go. I'm going to predict Liverpool 1-0 Salah. It's all about the win. It's all about the 3 points. Put the pressure on Arsenal who play in the derby tomorrow night against Spurs. Chelsea. I think Chelsea play tonight, don't they? Chelsea play tonight?
7:30. No, yeah, they do play tonight, yeah. And Brentford and City.
Yeah. So it's just about putting on a show tonight, getting the result, getting the 3 points, and then putting the pressure on the other boys. That's all we can do. And then hopefully Brentford do the same. I'm confident, but I'm not overconfident because it is a tough game. I heard a lot of people on Twitter today saying a draw with doing all this. I think when you're going for the league and you're at the top, you can't be talking about draws. You've got to go for the win. You've got to have the 3 points in the bag.
Yeah. I think we're good enough to win with the odd goal, to be honest with you. I don't think we 1-0. I think they score, but I think we might just outscore them by 1. And maybe score late. Yeah. Could be a 2-1, could be a 3-2.
Yeah.
And if we do that, we want to kick us on.
I'll go 2-0. 2-0 to the Reds.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take that. Yeah. And then Brentford the weekend. But look, we have to win tonight. Worry about Brentford at the weekend. That's another tricky. I think they play City. I think Brentford play. So that's an interesting one.
Yeah. They haven't been as certainly in the last couple of games. They haven't been as effective at home. So, a lot of injuries. There's definitely a lot of injuries at centre half. So
yeah. But guys, look, 28 minutes in. I think I've enjoyed that. We're back with a bang. The Reds are doing well. We're getting ready to rock and roll. Kick off in about a half an hour's time. Hopefully, we're all smiling at about 10 o'clock tonight when the Reds beat Forest. It won't be easy, but I trust in the Reds, trust in Arne Slot. And I'm absolutely looking forward to this one tonight. Thanks to Keith. Thanks to Ivan. Thanks for the comments. Hit the like button before you go. A lot more content to come on Dave's LC Chats. As I say, we're hoping to do this every Tuesday at 7 o'clock, guys. So let us know. Gibbo's going 2-1. Get your results in before we close up. I'm going 1-0. As I say, it's all about the points. Points mean prizes, guys. Points mean prizes. Mark's going 3-1. I'll take it. 25 people in. Hit that like button, guys. Keith, Ivan, thanks very much. We're back. Stay safe, boys. Thank you very much. Talk soon.